to Pro League. I am your host, Katie Bedford, joined by Nameless, Study, and Pac-Man, ready to dig into our first full day of matches here for the second week of Division A. And if you missed it yesterday, we're going to do a little recap of Midnight versus Evil Geniuses. EG continued their win streak, Nameless. They're now 4-0 overall, and Midnight tied things up with their wins and losses at 2-2 apiece.
Yeah, a few updates for those just joining us that haven't been watching lately. Evil Geniuses has been on a tear as of late. They're 4-0 in their last 4 matches, and Attach has gotten back to, you know, what he used to be in previous CODs. He's been playing like a monster, just going off in every single game mode, and they have not lost a hardpoint. So that's sort of the, you know, story for this team is their hardpoint dominance. Even in those close moments, they're able to clutch up and close them out, and you know, it's looking good for them going forward.
For me, it looks like this team now trusts each other. They were down into those maps and were able to fight back and win those maps. Like, that's huge for a team that was struggling before, for players that were in spots where they were struggling before. Now they're bouncing back and winning as a team.
Yeah, watching Midnight yesterday, we even heard it yesterday when Maven and Merc were casting it. Just the comms in general were just frantic. I got the chance to talk to Blastful yesterday, and he just told me, like, Haggy basically just went, like, he just went insane during the games, and it was unbelievable. But just overall, we know what we need to see out of Midnight. Saints needs to step up and be the superstar he needs to be. We know what Lacer is bringing to the team now, and then Parasite is going to be doing what he needs to do. But Saints, he's your superstar.
Yeah, he's got to step it up.
To me, it looks like Lace is returning to that form that we saw in Black Ops 3. We're like, could this guy be next up?
Yeah.
He was beaming yesterday, absolutely on fire. If it was up to him, they would have won for sure.
Yeah.
Well, to that point, actually, Study, I believe, to the note on Saints, he had a .79 respawn KD last week, which was the lowest on Midnight, and I wonder, that's such a shift from what we saw before London.
Yeah,
so,
keep in mind, they missed out on him on London. He just couldn't go. But then coming back, you obviously didn't scrim for a couple days, and you have to just get back used to it. But having a .7 out of your main SOG player, your main Slayer on the team is unacceptable. And for me, in order for them to continue to rise up and just be that team that we weren't expected to stay at the top, he needs to be playing a lot better.
Well, I think, Pac, we kind of talked about it with Saints, that a lot of it might be his work ethic. You know, when he's putting in the work, he's amazing.
That was in the past, but he was, before they ever went on break, he was doing really well, right? So I don't know anything about how his work ethic is on this team. I haven't heard any complaints from his teammates, so I'm not going to put it on that. He just needs to get back to his form and step back up now that he's had time to get reacquainted with his teammates.
Right.
I just think Midnight's a perennial middle of the pack team.
So do I.
I think they'll always just be like a threat for that top 6 spot, but probably remain top 8 to 12. It's just the players on that team and, you know, sort of just the teams that they're going against. There's super teams out there at the moment. I definitely think that they have potential with Blast starting to hit his stride and Lacefield stepping up as well. But I think there's just going to be certain players that show up in certain matches and then they just fall off in other ones. So I think Midnight, until they learn fundamentally how to play the game and those guys rise back to their superstar form, I don't think that they're a realistic contender for a top 4 spot.
Now let's talk about our other series yesterday, Reciprocity versus Luminosity, and Luminosity pulled out one map, but that was it because Reciprocity ended up winning the whole thing 3-1, and that was actually with some new roles on the team. Denz, of course, coming in for Tommy. Denz is the ICR.
The hard point, Denz ran the ICR for Shawnee, who was running that role, and Shawnee switched to a Maddox and looked comfortable doing it in such a short period of time. They said they had 1 scrim, but Shawnee looked a lot better in that role than he did previously running an ICR. He looked so comfortable on the map, and Denz played really well for a guy that hasn't been scrimming at all.
Yeah, he played fine. For me, this match answered a lot of questions. So going into this match, I had a couple questions over at Luminosity. Like, I thought that they may have just chalked it, and they're like, you know, this team's broken. We're not getting better. I wasn't for sure, though. After that match, especially where those hard points went, my mind was made up about Luminosity. I feel like that they've just given up, and you know, Reciprocity, they took advantage, and that was the perfect match for them to come in with Denz for their first game to get that confidence. And you know, sort of that role switch, what Study was talking about, has put Shawnee in a position where he's back to being, you know, sort of that versatile player can go around with a Maddox.
And look at those stats.
1.3, just overall, at least in the respawn game mode, that's something we were not seeing. Like I was saying yesterday, he had a lot of single-digit hardpoint games, and it was unacceptable. But obviously, him switching to a Maddox, Tommy obviously stepping down, and Denz going to that ICR role, he's able to play a lot more aggressive with Zed, with Wuskins. Like, we saw all of the team just in general just consistent yesterday, just because they basically were all on pace, and it was really good to see out of them.
So for a player like Shawnee, I understand how he feels when he runs a main AR or when he has to run a main sub, because I was sort of that player too when I played. So when I watch him, I'm a little less critical than some people are, because he's a player who likes to do it all. So he just tries to be in the right spot at the right time, plays off his mini-map. So when he has a Maddox, it's sort of a bailout gun. You can win gunfights up close. You can win gunfights at range. So it's like a good weapon for him. And there's been players like that in the past. Aix is one of those players as well, where sometimes they look like they're not playing that hot. It's because maybe the role that they're running isn't the best for them, but they're versatile versatile, and they're willing to do what's best for the team. So he stepped up to run that ICR because he had to, even though it wasn't his preferred role. So now he's back into a spot where he can thrive, and he played great yesterday. We'll see if he can keep it up in this match.
Well, and you can see now, of course, with these standings, I want to focus a little bit. Of course, our first series of the day is Midnight and Reciprocity, hanging out there kind of lower on the standings. They did take down LG, but not a inform LG, if you will. And this seems like it could be study a little back and forth, Midnight versus.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really great series for the fact that Denz is running an ICR, so he doesn't really have that much experience doing it. Parasite's been doing it the entire time, so it's going to be a battle between those two. But the player for me, obviously, we're going to need to see the same performance out of Shawnee. On the side at Midnight, we need Saints to step it up drastically for me.
Yeah, he's going to have to. He's going up against Dylan, and Dylan is back to his form that we were waiting for him to get to. So Saints and Lacefield have a lot on the plate here, going up against Zed and Dylan, who seem to be all vibes are now and performing at a high level.
Now then, Pac-Man, I wonder, do you think it's going to be more about the hard points, more about maybe the S&D? Obviously, Midnight has looked quite strong in S&D now that we've been back. But
well, even yesterday, even though Reciprocity won, they still lost that control pretty handily to LG. They've never been good at that mode. So I think that if they're able to somehow win the hard points again like they did against LG, they'll still be able to take this series, but they're not going to be able to just clean wipe LG or Midnight like they did LG, because LG just not strong. So I think it's going to come down to the hard points like yesterday and the performance from Shawnee and Dylan keeping up that superstar performance.
I guess we'll see how the vetoes go. Sometimes Midnight plays this weird veto process where I believe they get rid of Hacienda, but Seaside will be in the series, and it's just a guaranteed loss for them. So
yeah, I don't know.
I think if there's a Seaside, once again, if they play that same sort of veto process, that's an auto win on the side of Reciprocity. And you don't want to give away any auto hardpoint wins to Reciprocity because they are sort of a 50-50 respawn team. So I think I would edge towards Rec in this game just because of the honeymoon period, having Denz back and winning that match yesterday.
Well, we will see if Seaside or Hacienda ends up in our map pool, but we're ready to get things started. We're going to hand it over to our casters, Ben and Chance.
Thank you very much, Katie. Thank you to the fine gentleman there on the desk as well. Pretty good breakdown and a look at our first game of this series today. Chance, your thoughts for the series?
I think we've had so many teams in the Pro League, and like London, the storyline was we've had 8 of the 16 teams make changes, which makes it really tough to make predictions, evaluations on how good everyone's going to be. Now we come to the Pro League, and we're making more changes, and now Den's like the main ICR on Reciprocity, and like, so I don't know what to expect out of them. Like, obviously they look great yesterday. You expect like at least halfway decent things, but we still don't know. There's just too much unknown, and even from the side of Midnight, we have more expectations. Really good S&D team. The Seaside may be a little bit of a problem for them, so we have like inklings, but there's not like a wealth of information, so this is still like the learning period for both of these teams.
Most definitely is. Well, here's a quick glance at our series layout. Have a Seaside Hardpoint, Arsenal Search, Frequency Control, a Hacienda Hardpoint as a Game 4 as well if the series goes further. Then, of course, that Game 5 Search and Destroy as well. But starting off, Seaside Hardpoint. Haven't really seen it all that often when me and you at least have been casting. It started off a pretty big fan favorite map at the beginning just because of all the drama you used to get, the epic comebacks, and kind of petered out a little bit, if you will.
I mean, still a couple epic comebacks here and there. Maybe we'll get another one, but I think the thing to look at is Reciprocity expectation. What you want to see if you're a fan of them is they need to get out of the gate quick. They need this first map win because obviously Midnight, well, they're going to be great in that 2-3-4, and well, the deeper you go in this series, Midnight might just get better and better, but so far still good for Reciprocity. Early points inside the hill. Of course, it is a ton of contest time coming down.
Sure, there's going to be a lot of eyes, as the desk kind of mentioned, over towards Denz. Going in, of course, substitute after Tommy decided to take a little bit of time off. And, you know, for myself and Chance, Tommy, if you are watching, get well soon. And you're going to be sorely missed at the CWL, that's for sure. But as it stands, it's Reciprocity with the advantage. And looking to try and put themselves above 30 points, of course. Player close to streaks as well. That is going to be Shawnee. 5 streaks still in the hill. We'll keep our eyes on his progression, but for now it's the rotation which matters as Dylan falls. But here is Shawnee just 165 away from streaks.
Of course, you're going to try to get him. It's going to take a little bit more than a kill. And of course, they want to break the hill as well because streaks are great, but if you throw away too much time, you're still in a bad spot. But Reciprocity, they got the full swarm. You got 2 players coming through church, 3 in the back. The nade is going to slow him down for, well, 4 or 5 seconds, and Shawnee knows it. He's just going to back away, looking for the kill. Can't get a bullet. So still just trying to get these streaks, doing everything he can. His teammates are finally baiting. peppering shots in, gets a kill. Now for the slide, you gotta connect though. His teammates have fallen, he's gotta do it himself, and Parasite gets the double beat down. No streaks for Shawnee, no time for Reciprocity.
And here's the problem. Parasite actually walked away with 3 kills in the hill. It's gonna put him close to streaks, and you already saw him thinking about that rotation, try and pick up the free time. He has Saints watching the cutoff from P1, so this is going to be a nice rotation for Midnight where they could pick up a ton of time if Saints was able to find that double. But there's a look at Parasite's perspective. 205 when the new hill pops is going to put him even closer. A couple more kills, and, well, he'll have streaks.
Saints is going to be taking the trek across the map while Parasite's doing everything he can to stay alive. Only 8 bullets left in the clip. Now make it 6, so he feels the pressure, just wants to back away, and well, we have a situation. Shawnee plays for Shrieks, can't get him. Parasite plays for Shrieks, can't get him. The question is, can Midnight hold? It's blast in the back, but they don't really have the spawns. A couple kills do go their way, so you imagine Midnight could bounce back, and it looks like that's going to be it. Lacefield with that final kill.
It was pretty ironic. Shawnee was taken down by Parasite for streaks and then returned the favor when Parasite was a couple away himself. But so far, it's slow start from Zed, slow start from Dens. It's 0-4 for Zed and a 1-6 for Dens. You also have Wuskin at 2-8. And I feel like we've casted a lot of Reciprocity throughout this season. And one of the things that we so often say is sometimes players will start. So, hell, we casted, I'm going to always bring it up because it was just so incredible. The Hardpoint Gridlock, where it was essentially a 4v5. Zed had 2 kills going into the final Hardpoint before he grab slammed and managed to basically win the game. But that just can't happen. Consistently, you cannot be a championship challenging team if that's how you start off.
Well, I mean, at the same time, though, it does tell you that you're fundamentally sound. Like, yeah. Obviously a great team because you got Wuskins too. So Zed, Wuskins, and Dens right now have a combined 6 kills, combined deaths for 23, 24, something like that. So 6 and 24 for 3 people, you're only down by 30. And like you get a break on here, you might be able to tie it up. But the problem is, when you're that negative, a bunch of players might get streaks. Parasite came close. Now Lacefield's taking his turn. He gets a kill. He's there, and it looks like he's at a nice spot for it. Gets the Lightning, honestly poised up to get the Hellstorm. And that's the issue. It's great to have fundamentals. It's terrible to give away all these streaks.
Yeah, and then you have to think about the race towards Specialist, too. I mean, look at Wuskin's progression right now to Tempest. I mean, it's not good, gents. It's not good at all as the rotation comes through from Midnight. They'll pick up the scrap time, and, well, if they won some of those gunfights, it would have been very, very scary. Lacefield will decide to invest the Hellstorm. They'll find one. Dens drops, and he does also have a grab slam to use, maybe later on in the second rotation. You're surprised to see him maybe just go a little crazy here on less Reciprocity stack, but with Saints finding an opening pick, you don't even have to use anything, but Lightning Strike's going to be invested as well. Rec holding on.
Yeah, Lightning Strike gets nothing. Lacefield, though, with his gun, apparently better than the Lightning Strike himself. He's going to find 3. Has the grab if he wants to use it as well. And honestly, there's no need. Just use the Maddox the entire time. Your gun's working great for you, but streaks or no streaks, you built yourself a nice little lead, and still for Reciprocity, everyone just oh so slow. And you got to think about, like, the specialist progression. Zed, Wuskins, and Dens, like, they're just far away. At this rate, they might not get one apiece.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get it. It's just going to be very, very tough, man. It's just too slow of a start. You cannot play like that against Midnight. They will punish you. And obviously, we talked about some of the stat lines, which are a little poor. Well, on the flip side, 16-3 is Lacefield, 14-7 is Saints. Parasite 12-8, but let's not forget the importance of maybe Parasite's triple kill on the second hill in the first rotation. Shuts down Shawnee's streaks. How different this game could have looked if Shawnee did have those streaks. And, well, Lacefield working towards more streaks himself. And honestly, you can just slam if you really want to try and lock him down. But it'll be Dylan from Rec that uses his grab slam first. Lacefield under pressure, but wants to go for the challenge. Will not find it. Saints has picked up a Lightning. Can he find a Hellstorm? Yes, he can. The game is getting very close to spiraling out of control here for Rec.
I mean, is it though? Because like only 50 points down, you're in control, 25 seconds left. Like Midnight, they're taking maybe another crack at it. It sounds like, I don't know, something is forcing Reciprocity out of the hill to chip away a few seconds, but still poised up to get the scrap time. Reciprocity, like, they just need one good break on this next hill and they're back in it. The problem is, well, last time Midnight basically held it the entire time. They got about 45 seconds on it, and when you get the early rotation, it is incredibly difficult to break. And there's no specialist for Reciprocity to help them out.
That's the key. You're going into a massive money hill where the other team has a Lightning in case things do go wrong. They also still have a Grav Slam. And what do you have to break? You're close to TAC 5, I guess. That's nice, right? But on the flip side, so is Blast. So it doesn't really give you too much of an advantage as Parasite finds one with the KN. The trade should all come through. Dens was trying to be a nuisance as he came through checkers, but was traded out. Midnight still in the hill. That shows you just how crucial this Fountain Hill can be.
Yeah, the extra health is coming in to help as well. Dylan, though, it seems like there's been quite a few times where it's hopeless and he finds a two-piece, if not more. And again, Reciprocity just trying to chisel away at the time. I think maybe they've been able to contest about 10 seconds, which is nice. But yes, the lead has gotten not quite out of control because it is Seaside, but definitely a hefty one. And Midnight's now at a point where on this hill, if they get a break, they should be in a great spot. Of course, there are a couple players here early for Reciprocity, and of course, it's going to be the Saw Dylan, going to be that front line for the team. But they're going to have to play incredibly well, and there's a bunch of players surging through.
And when you're getting performances like this from Saints and Lacefield, it can be very tough to play against, that's for sure. Zed does find himself a triple, though. Is that going to be enough to maybe turn the tide here for Reciprocity? Tempest is out for Llama God, connects with Dens, and will fall. Midnight still in the hill. The early break helpful, and well, they lock down the remainder of this time. Surely map 1 is over.
Of course, you got a grab slam potentially leading the charge as well, which he actually connects with 2, not even a teammate that's behind him, and that's just going to make it so much more damaging. And Blast picks up a teammate, but it doesn't matter. The wipe is there. Reciprocity is out. 20 seconds on this hill. You get 240 up to 118 on the opponent. You have to imagine Midnight are going to be smooth and clear to take a convincing game number 1 win. And of course, they got a Purifier, they got the War Machine, and Lightning just to break this hill.
Yeah, we're basically at the point where you need Lacefield and Saints controller to, you know, malfunction for Reciprocity to come back and take map number 1. It was the traditional Reciprocity story, I feel like, which is a slow start. Only this time it wasn't a slow start from 1 player, it was a slow start from 3. And if you start like that, you will feed, as Chancey so rightfully called out, streaks, further specialist progression, and you'll put yourself in a bit of a deficit, despite the fundamentals. Yeah, sure, that's great and all, but when this is just such a consistent problem for Reciprocity, I struggle to see how anyone can believe that this is a championship caliber team.
And they're holding on, though. They use the War Machine, they get a couple kills, they use the Purifier, they get, I think, 3, and now Dens, well, he's 170 off at least the Lightning. The problem is you have to get it. You need the kill, and then you see the Flak Jacket coming in, protecting players. Purifier is going to run out in the next 5 or 6 seconds, but he should be able to find just 1, but the Flak Jacket is enough to shut him down. And now Midnight, just rotate to the hill. Whoever number 5 is, just hang out, let your teammates protect you. You get the kill, Lacefield does it, you're secure for the rotation, you should be good to go. Just don't screw it up.
Chance, I love the comeback story as much as the next guy, but it's just not gonna happen. It's simply not gonna happen. Saints has got a War Machine out now as well, which he's struggled to shut down Dylan. Finally he goes down. Simple trades on the hill would be enough. Rex still hanging on, but don't have the streaks, which would have been so helpful to try and break over towards the Fountain Hill, where they've struggled throughout entire of map number 1. 30 seconds left, and again, if you're Midnight, you're in a situation where you can just say, just rotate. Give them the time. Don't feed them a chance. Don't feed them a win condition. That should be the game plan, but now all of a sudden Parasite spawned out. So is Llama God. This can't be happening.
I was going to say the last thing you want to do on this hill is die when there's 15, 20, well, really any time left on the hill, because if you give the back up, the question is, Midnight could have still won it on the last hill, so they gave it a shot to fight, but now everyone's going to spawn out. Midnight, wrong side of the map. You got 2 players, make it 3 in a second, that are hunting Blastful down. You get the kill, you get the back spawns, and they should be able to get it. Blasto, 1 health, and he gets the kill on Zed, staying alive. The beatdown is here, but now there's what? 3 players coming, but this is it. Waskin, he's got the Tempest. He might get streaks. They're in the hill. They got the hold. 30 points. The game is theirs.
Are you serious? 85 points all he needs. There's a grab slam as well for Dylan. Is he going to go for it? Maybe a little overzealous. 240-228. Midnight trying to contest, but it's Waskin who started the flank. He's connected with 3 players. The double assist comes through. He's now earned streaks. If you're honest, Waskin, you just call him in. You just call him in, make it rain from above. Midnight was in a position where it was almost impossible to lose, and Reciprocity are about to take the lead.
And they're going to get this game. They got 5 seconds left. Midnight, it's 1 player to contest. The beatdown's there, but so is the lightning strike. You funnel through a doorway, you're going to die. And Reciprocity, the Seaside Classic, Ben.
I'm done.
You can never count them out.
I'm done.
You can never count any team out.
You know what, Rec, I apologize. Apparently, you just got the ice. You're the comeback kings. I'll never doubt you again. You know what? Next time, if this goes game 4, I want everyone to start off like 0-6, just so we can, just watch another epic comeback. If they just didn't do that, can you imagine how much easier a series would be? Like, I'm actually annoyed that they have won that.
Oh my God. He's not even looking at the camera. He's looking at Shane. That was intense.
Then just looked into our souls.
No, it's just...
They would be so good if they just didn't start off that slow.
I mean, they won't. You can never count them out. You can never count any team out on Seaside. And the worst thing is,
Rec.
yes, like Weston's got streaks, but it wasn't like a massive game turnaround. Like I think 3 of the players still finished like double negative. And they just always kept it close. They just always kept it close.
And what, about 100 points? I think that was the biggest lead that we really saw. And Rec, why you always got to be like that? We'll take a look at the Scuff game and play it again. You thought Blast was about to do it. You thought maybe he could try and make the play for Midnight. But he loses the spawns. Then all of a sudden, eventually, Reciprocity had earned their specialists. Tempest comes out. It helps. Wuskin gets his streaks. And at this point, to try and break this hill is just so hard.
And that's actually crazy, too, because it really spiraled out of control, like, from that first hill. Because that was when the War Machine for Zed and then the Purifier for Dens actually came in, and both made pretty good plays with it, because I think the opposition had the exact same specialist and couldn't get anything with it. I don't even remember seeing Parasite use the Purifier. Saints got, like, 1 kill with the War Machine, so the specialist came into play, and then the rotations. Like, when Blast got that kill with 1 HP, I was like, there might actually be a chance. Like, Blast might have just made the play, and then you look at the minimap at Midnight, just nowhere near the hill.
Well, Rec make the comeback. I know Jess talked with Rec before the game started. Jess, what they have said?
Thanks, Ben. That's right. I did speak with Dylan specifically, and naturally the conversation was about Dens filling in for Tommy, and Dylan did say, yeah, Dens is doing everything we need him to do, and he is playing better than we were expecting. He said they're not feeling any nerves in this match, or going into this match versus Midnight, but he did call it a must-win and said, in fact, the rest of our games for this week are must-wins. Over on the side of Midnight, I caught up with Blast, and he said that they're pretty disappointed in yesterday's loss, and said that the team vibes were off. There was a lot of bickering. They were fighting, and of course, it's hard to have good teamwork and good team vibes when they're just bickering at each other. And he said if the same thing happens today, then we're going to get 3-0'd. So let's see if they can turn it around or not. Ben and Chance, back over to you guys.
Thank you, Jess. It's worth mentioning if they were bickering yesterday, I imagine there's going to be some bickering right now, because that was a hard point, which, yes, you can say that, maybe they never had the most dominating lead. It was never, 150 points plus, but that's a map that they should have won. Plain and simple. They're going to be very, very frustrated with how that one ended, and, when you do get kind of come back on like that, it's not going to do well for team morale, and you kind of saw the look of Parasite's face. He almost looked a little disgusted that they had lost that map after a great start from him, but now they find themselves 1-0 down. I wonder if Blast is right. Or Midnight just ready and waiting to get 3-0'd.
And there's so much to bicker about. It is, you had so many good situations where, okay, you lose the rotation over to the first hill, fine, they use 2 of your specialists, whatever, we still have a massive lead. Then you lose the rotation a second, and then there's 25 seconds left. And honestly, send all 5 players to go, like, hide behind the stage in the back. Just buddy up, and obviously not, like, that extreme, but just have everyone rotate. And they just kept taking gunfights. They had a couple players that just kind of hung around in barrels, and you start to spawn out, and it just spirals out of control. And teams, I think, rarely expect that to happen. Like, you get so comfortable when you got that 60, 70, 80-point lead. You have the free rotation, the next rotation that you've already won twice, and then you just make that one mistake. One player overcommits whatever it's going to be, and it spirals out of control, and it's everything. You had so many streaks that game. You had the specialist so early on. Yep. You had 3 players combined, triple negative, or actually, no, quadruple negative.
Triple negative at one point, yeah. And you still somehow managed to lose the map. That might honestly be the more impressive part, really, of that map number 1. But Rec take it. They have the advantage. Up next is a search and destroy on Arsenal, and I mean, if Rec come out strong here, they use that momentum potentially. This could be a very fast series from here on out.
I'm just gonna keep backtracking to talk about it more. I think Nameless even said on the desk, he was like, Seaside has been a pretty big problem for Midnight. I don't know why they keep leaving it on there. Yeah. And then they got up by a massive lead, and I was like, Nameless, like, what is he even talking about? And then, like, the next still came, and I was like, oh, he might be right. And the next still came, and I was like, okay, this is exactly what Nameless was talking about. Like,
he is, in fact, right.
Good God.
Yeah, it was not pretty. Not pretty at all. But game 2, as we said, the Arsenal search and destroy, loading up. Midnight and their search and destroy.
Really good.
You still feeling good about them?
I mean, obviously, you got the new guy, Dens. I don't know what to expect from Reciprocity, but I think the last time we casted over Reciprocity on this map, they got beat 6-1 by Optic when Karma was having controller issues, and they basically played 4v5 for a couple rounds.
Nah, that wasn't the last time. The last time we casted Rec on this map, Tommy had the sniper rifle out, and he was hitting triple kills like it was easy. I forgot who we were playing against.
Wait, triple kills? You talking about like the other day? That was on Frequency, did that.
No, he did it on this map too.
He gets triple kills all over the place then.
Yeah, that's why he's a very good sniper rifle player. And that's what is going to be sorely missed from Reciprocity in their search and destroy, but Lace will find a pick himself, 4v4 early on.
Of course, the sniper, new man on the team, at least, is going to be Wuskins looking for the challenge. And granted, you fall, but you do get a trade. You should be able to get the bomb planted. A couple problems. Well, one, they can't really peek anything from Wuskins. They got the flank to worry about, but it's only one player on the flank. Shawnee does not fall, and Saints, well, he does eventually pick him up. Wuskins is there for the trade, and Blastful, well, he just overcommits just a little bit. I would say doesn't check his corners. It's not really a corner. Now you basically need a prayer shot or two to go and get this bomb defuse.
For Wuskin at least, just a couple of jiggled peeks, all you really need to do. He'll spot Lacefield and won't connect there. Will he connect with that? The hit marker should be enough for his teammate to push forward. Zed with the double. And Wreck loud.
I have no idea how much of the audio the stream can pick up, but
I imagine just enough.
I could hear all of that. And that was delightful. And Wuskins, by the way, I think he got 3 hit markers that round. Actually, Paradox, can you pull up the damage scoreboard just to see it? Because this is what happens to me in League play all the time. Except my teammates don't clean up the kills.
You're going to compare yourself to Wuskin.
No, Wuskins is so much better. It's unbelievable. But it's just hit markers like crazy. Yeah, 556 damage. And he does get the EKIA because the kills were traded. But I think he only got 1 actual kill himself for 556 damage.
It's pretty impressive. That's for sure. And well, Zed, after the double, which was basically given to him on a plate, he's 350 away from streaks. Wuskin will slow peek. We'll get the information on Llama, but Llama sees him too. All right, Wuskin. I'm very curious to see his kind of sniping. You've not really got to see it all that much. You've seen it occasionally, but unfortunately he's going to miss that one. Obviously, you know he's doing well just based off the scoreboard, to your point about damage. But his teammates are there. They're picking up the kills, and it's a 5v2.
Yeah, they just got full control of the nade, basically used in a perfect spot. And while these players are looking for a pick if they can find it, Blast, though, has to reload Dylan for the trade. And Dylan, well, doesn't get the kill right away, but the trade's instantaneous. And Reciprocity, the passion dripping from their controllers. I think the confidence boost, morale boost must have been pretty nice after that Seaside.
Not that best play. It was just Dylan winning a relatively simple gunfight by his standards. Right, go 2-0 up now, and this is what I worried about. This is what I worried about, that early momentum now in this search and destroy. Midnight don't get a foothold here into this map 2. It's going to be over very, very quickly. Already have a couple players working towards streaks. Still, Wuskin with that sniper rifle. Will he connect with the first blood, open things up with Rank? Oh, yes, he will.
That was a really good stun as well. Those players just doing the slow crawl down those back steps. So nice teamwork coming in from them. Keep in mind, Zed, well, he's already got the lightning. If he stays alive, the round's a guaranteed win. And frankly, it's a 5v3. Make it 5v2. Dylan gets the 2-piece, and Saints, well, you flanked last time, you'll flank again. Good luck, have fun. And he should fall shortly, and there it is. And Reciprocity just dominating rounds.
Yeah, with ease. Now they have that extra utility, which they didn't have early on in game 1. It took them a long, long time, but Midnight so far, I asked you coming in, all right, thoughts on them in search, and you said, oh yeah,
pretty good. Pretty good. They were on frequency at least.
So what's been I guess the big difference maker from when you saw them last time, and you kind of complimented their search and destroy to what you're seeing so far in the first 3 rounds?
Well, I mean, the last round, it was a stun grenade that made the difference for the sniper rifle shot that gave you the advantage. I think the first round, it was the sniper rifle shot that was picking up a couple of hit markers. And then the round before that, it was more utility. So we've had a good stun grenade, had a good actual cluster grenade, and they've been making plays. And obviously, you can see why Zed 5-1. Now I got a bunch of players out. The lightning ping for the instant information. You ask what the difference maker this round is, it's Zed by himself with the 2-piece.
That's just not acceptable. Players should be dead to rights. That's almost a guaranteed trade. And somehow Zed produces a moment of brilliance. And now it's Denz's turn on the other side. He's done wonderfully well to stay alive. It's a 4 versus 2. 4 versus 1. Dylan cleans up Parasite. Waskin maybe trying to go for a little bit of a clip there, but no, couldn't connect with a quick scope, but it should be fine. Oh my god, dead to right. 1v3, there should be no chance. He drops, and it's all too simple. All too simple right now for Reckon. If you look at the scoreboard now for Midnight, it's horrible. It's terrible, actually.
Well, and it gets worse because he pinged the Lightning. 3 bullets he got hit with, and then Saints for the trade only hit him with 1. And I was going to say, every single round, Reciprocity did some sort of like either good strategy or outplay, better positioning, good cluster, good stun, whatever it's going to be. That round, no, it was just Zed, just gunning the second player. That's all it was.
Well, 4-0. You got, again, 1 Lightning at play. I believe Dylan is also working towards a Lightning. 145 is all he needs. Luskin picks off first blood. Thank you very much. The Lightning is going to be called in. That's going to allow you to push forward. 3 players drop. I just want you to know, I may not have called the comeback in map 1, but I called this perfectly. A very quick game 2, a bloodbath. Midnight, this is the problem. This is why you're never so highly considered in terms of the analysts, in terms of anyone that watches, you know, competitive COD, because you have these moments of utter collapse, and when it's bad, it's terrible. And this is a prime example.
It's not over yet, Ben.
Look, Chance. All right?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I didn't buy into your storyline map 1. I'm definitely not buying into your storyline map 2.
That's completely fair. Reciprocity, they are essentially giggling like schoolgirls on the stage, having a great time.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're making it look easy. Quick work. And again, I think a couple rounds they had some nice little outplays, and since then it's just been completely bullying out the opposition. I think the Lightning Strike picked up 2, and it's just rough.
Yeah, and Dylan has a Lightning and he has a Hellstorm. This is like the meme, the Simpsons meme. Stop, they're already dead. That's what this Search and Destroy is reminding me of. It's really not been pretty at all. Lightning Strike comes in, Shawnee first blood, pre-fires the door just in case there was a trade that was coming through. Smart from him, unnecessary in that situation, but nevertheless, smart as Lacefield gets challenged, Blast goes down, 5v2, there's a Hellstorm in the air, which we'll see if it's going to find anything. Llama goes down, 5v1. This was pathetic from Midnight. I don't know what this series is so far, but that was way too easy from Reciprocity. Way too easy. We complimented their Search and Destroy not so long ago, Chance. Then, of course, they had an event where it wasn't the best, but it was expected to go down. But Search like that is just awesome to watch from their point of view.
I mean, the vibes on the stage as well as the gameplay for Reciprocity, at least in this series, completely unmatched. They're a very happy team, and across the aisle, Midnight, well, they look at least mildly disappointed in themselves.
Mildly disappointed. It's faces like that which are when questions like how long has this team even got left together, right? That's when, you know, you'll see those kind of rumors come up. You'll see those conversations start, because it doesn't look like a happy team. It looked like a very happy team, you know, 3 minutes in. And after that, the series just took a big turn. Reciprocity just cruised through game number 2. We'll be back after this, though, with game 3, and hopefully, at least, it's a little more competitive.
The Call of Duty World League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the CWL. And TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
level up the game.
As it stands, it's Reciprocity 2-0 up against Midnight. Some Midnight players still haven't retaken the stage yet, Chance. And we saw as they walked off, they looked a little upset with each other. I'm sure they'll be back, of course, to finish the series, but 2-0 down. You got to say it. Feels like this is just a 3-0 now for Reciprocity.
Yeah, I mean, it's, how well can Midnight hit the regain button, whatever it's going to be, because I think that's been an issue for certain teams of when things start to spiral out of control. How well can you bounce back? Some teams great at it, some teams not so much, and now Midnight gets to test their mettle, see if they can handle it, because I know historically these players you'd look at and be like, yeah, they tilt pretty heavily. Maybe not so much anymore, right? Like maybe they could, look, man, you got to sell the story somehow, but Reciprocity obviously going to be feeling great. In Midnight, it's just a question of if you can turn it around, because I'll be honest, if Midnight loses to a team that has been playing with Dens for like 2 or 3 days, not a good look. Not a good look to have, and if there was any questions in your mind, it's like, hey, boys, we're placing top 4.
They just got 6-0'd in search.
Yeah.
By a team who's playing with Dens for a couple.
Yeah, but if you make the reverse sweep and then 6-0 map 5, you'd be like, hey, guys, it was a fluke. We should have won that map number 1 and 2.
There was nothing fluky about that. Maybe map 1, you can be like, all right, we gave it away. Map 2, they looked like they'd never played that map before. It was bad.
Yeah, it was. I'm not trying to say it was great. I'm just saying that we got a series to play. You don't want to count any teams out. You want to see what can happen. And again, if Midnight loses the Reciprocity, you're feeling terrible because, one, I think you're, 2-2 on the 4 matches they've had so far, which is respectable because Midnight's a fairly new team as well. But then if you start losing to the other teams that are new teams, it's going to be, it makes it tougher. It does more damage in your mind of how high of a stock you place. 1, in yourselves. 2, if you're an outsider looking in, how well you think Midnight could actually do. And of course, on the flip side, for Reciprocity, not in a bad spot. They got a couple wins under their belt, and then after this, they play UIU and EG, which don't get me wrong, like EG looks pretty good, so it might be some fierce competition. But again, I think that's what Dylan was saying in his interview, right? Like there's some must-win matches for us, and if they do get these wins, which this is the starting point for it, like you can have yourself a great week.
Yeah, we are getting closer, of course, to that crunch time. Top 4 making it to playoffs, of course. Guaranteed. No pressure for those guys. As it stands, Rec really fighting to just try and climb up those rankings. And so far, they put them in a great position today. 2-0 up against Midnight. Game 3, loading up. It will be control on frequency. And the weird thing about the way Game 1 started was it was really all Midnight. The slaying was there. The streaks were there. Hell, even the specialists early on were there. And if Rec starts, though, again, another respawn, maybe that is the catalyst for Midnight to make a comeback. Personally, though, I think the series is done.
And just to backtrack to it, when Midnight was up 240 to 210, so like right before that final hill popped, Midnight was outslaying Reciprocity by 20 kills. Which is quite a few, because normally you can win a game by 30 or 40 points when you outslay them by like 6 or 7 kills, and you get 20, you're feeling great. Dylan is the first one here. It is going to be Midnight playing fairly slow, so they don't have a lot of map control, but they're looking for the early picks, and Dylan is just full steam ahead, and he's able to find kills as well, so now you got a scatter across the map. Midnight does get towards A, but they do have to deal with Dylan, who is yet to fall, but Lacefield dealt with him.
Finally, and, well, meanwhile, over at A, Llama and a couple of teammates there getting the first tick of progression in towards A. It's a 3v2 momentarily, but then should surely fall. Nice, clean wipe for Midnight on the assault at A. And, well, I think A is actually going to be capped fully. So pressure now on Rec to try and defend B for 2 minutes and about 5 seconds.
And it was a good start as well. Played very passive, just everyone posted up with some ARs, KNs, Maddoxes, and ICR, whatever you want. And Reciprocity, just a couple players getting caught out. You fly mid-map, you fly out for the challenge because you don't expect them to be wherever you are. And then, hey, they're just waiting for you, and they pounce, and now Midnight, that 6 life advantage.
Goes down to 4. Still in the short, you do try and fight back, and Blast has to be careful. It's 125 away from streaks. Now just 25. Has to value his life. That's really going to be the key player to watch for the following few moments, really. Will he find those streaks? No, he won't. And it's the new addition to shut him down.
Yeah, Dan's just patient there. I think was literally just pre-aiming that with an ICR for 15 seconds, give or take. So you shut the streaks down, but now you're getting spawn killed Midnight with basically full control of the map. They got a couple of Reciprocity players towards their base, so everyone's trying to spawn kill. But right now, life advantage going heavily in Midnight's favor, still up by 5. And Shawnee's getting some information, but Reciprocity has just now cleared out their base.
He needs to at least find 2, and he's done so well to do that. Can he find 3? That would have been impressive. He tried to almost just bait out and blast there, but it's 15 lives for Midnight, 11 for Rec. Has Zed somehow got the information? Well, that's unfortunate.
That's Fog of War.
He will fall. Big advantage here for Midnight. Time is ticking now, 40 seconds. They can no longer really afford to push through B, but hey, when you just kill everyone over towards A, it makes life a little easier.
Yep, but now you got 3 bodies stacked on B. You'll cap it very quickly, and I think Saints is just waiting for all the players to pass, and then he goes for the flank. There's the final player that passes. How good does he get the timing? Maybe a second late, but with 0 information, that's about as perfect as you can get. And then he gets there, and his team killed everyone because Parasite found 3. Great flank from Saints. Apparently completely unnecessary.
No, Parasite, good round from him.
Apparently, yeah. That was what more do you want?
And that's the hard thing about this map, though. When you look at the way the control points are kind of positioned, you get wiped like that, you know, you're in a whole world of pain. You really are. You're scrambling to try and get back. It was Shawnee that somehow got the best play. Not really sure how, but he was able to find his double whilst trying to put some pressure on Midnight's spawn. Advantage Midnight, though, in game 3.
I wonder if damage is a factor. I've been trying to figure out how best plays work, but so Parasite picks up 3 inside the hill.
Could have just tapped a couple.
Yeah, but might have been cleaning up some of the kills, and then Shawnee did pretty much all the work himself there. So you always wonder, because obviously score is a factor, because bomb plants get shown in Search and Destroy. I don't know. I'll keep trying to figure it out, and I'll get back to you.
What month are we in?
May?
I wouldn't stress about it at this point.
Okay, that's fine. Saints, though. Nice triple kill. Maybe he'll get play of the game.
So 4 life lead already for Midnight as they continue where they left off. And oh, it looks like the Midnight team you expected to see this series. More kills coming in, and Parasite has himself a lightning. Blast has himself a lightning as well. Also, Blast could go one better. Not gonna happen. Unfortunately for Llama, he was working on streaks. He drops as well. Maybe a bit of a resurgence here from Reciprocity as Parasite just gets so unfortunate there. And he does fall nevertheless, as Rec look to put pressure at A.
Of course, 1 ticket's through. Saints are just waiting to find a kill, and it's right in front of them. Zed, though, with the saw comes out on top. So a couple players inside. The lightning strike to no avail, doesn't find anything. A pinch is getting set up, but Lacefield gets caught. Now all the pressure from the front, and honestly, you get the point, and you tied up the lives. That is a very important swing for Reciprocity to get.
And you also get a lightning strike out as well from Midnight. There's still 1 more, admittedly, but you do have players on Rec working closer towards streaks of their own. One of which I believe is Zed, as it's still putting pressure on the spawns now. Midnight have slowed down, and they're going to be ready and waiting. Will Dylan even force a bait out of a couple of shots? He will. Oh, Llama, sit down, son. He just got put in his place. There's 1 more there, but unfortunately for Dylan, he isn't going to note it. Now it's Denz's turn. He was getting spawn trapped last round. He wants to put the pressure on. Put some spawn kills in his column of kills, but no, not going to happen. Meanwhile, Parasite, who was a human turret in the last round, well, you got to do the defensive work now.
Yeah, just putting a couple taps in because he doesn't want to have to get forced to reload and back off, but because his teammates fall, he has to do it anyway. Shawnee making a nice read on the flank. Information was probably there. Llama God can only find 1, and, well, Parasite with an ICR, you love to watch the left, but if you don't have a player on the inside, it makes it tough, and, well, they feel the pressure, calling a lightning, and honestly, that is huge because it picks up 3.
Yep, and there's the 4th, so Midnight back with the numerical life advantage. There's a full team wipes worth. It's 5 lives. It's going to be worse as Blast flies forward. 30 seconds as well for Reciprocity. They're down to their final few lives. No trades even come through up top. Blast! Oh, the double from him. This one over. Midnight will go 2-0 up.
So the good news for Hardpoint is obviously you can get outslayed by about 20 and still pull off wins because you get a couple good hills. In Control, you get outslayed by 20, you just lose.
Yep, flat out.
You just lose, and there's nothing you can do because the lives are going to be a huge effect. The only way is if you'd have to pull off like 3 miraculous rounds of when you're getting outslayed like that. And Reciprocity maybe put in a little bit of work. Honestly, they made it close for a moment, and then the lightning strike that came in because you're getting outslayed, kills 3, gets the 4th man killed, and then any hope of winning the round is just completely stuffed.
The problem is as well, when you get to kind of a round 3 when you're 2-0 down, if you really are having very slow games, the chances you getting specialists there to just try and save the series, or save the map, if you will, very, very low. On the flip side, Llama still has his Tempest, I believe. So we invested last time. Nope, we didn't. Lacefield close to Slam. Saints, Parasite, all close to theirs. I mean, you're working on some stuff if you're Dylan. 3/4 of the way towards a grab slam, but besides that, Waskin close as well to the Tempest. Just a massive advantage for Midnight. And those players will learn the specialist this round. It's just a matter of, do they want to use it and put this one to bed?
It's about as good of an opening break for Reciprocity as you could possibly ask. They have quite a bit of control towards the map. They got player wrapping towards the B site. Everyone else, they're just funneling into orange, but you got a bunch of body stacks. The trades are there from Midnight, just trying to alleviate that pressure. They've only gotten 2 kills now, make it 3 this round, but maybe a little bit of an opening, some air that you can breathe. Of course, you get towards Dens with the ICR. The Saga is going to win that gunfight almost every time. Now it gets back to the scrappiness, but either way, Midnight has stabilized.
And maybe even a little more than stabilizing now. They put pressure over towards A. First tick might come through. Lace is just delaying his push into the zone because of that grab slam. He's waiting to see what's going to happen here with his teammates. Rec, more than happy to just give it up. Say, no, we don't even want it. Invest your specialists. And we'll waste the time. We'll burn the war machine. We'll just try and set up defensively at B.
And I'm curious of that positioning from Lacefield. I don't know if that was like wanting to set up the grab or if they were fearful of the Tempest that might come in, just in case Dylan wanted to force it. But either way, it was a smart play. They get the point. Now they go back to try to get the spawn kills. And if you look at the kill feed, unsuccessful. Lacefield's the only one alive, and he is mid-map, and Midnight do a solid job to get the B point. Now the problem is they're down by 6 lives, and of course now you get the question, do you want to invest the Tempest or Grassland yourself?
I was going to say, it only takes 1 clear wave of kills, and well, you can maybe consider making the play. And if Midnight do, and are unsuccessful this round, Rec would be in such a big position, and this is where you have to be certain with your actions. I mean, it's a 10 life advantage. That would be utterly mind-blown if anyone from Midnight pulls in anything else. We already saw the war machine. This one done, 16-5. Right, putting the moves on, and they're just going to jump off the map. Love that. They just don't want to feed Dylan any further kills. Don't want to put him closer to streaks.
That is one hell of a kill feed as well. The most purple I've seen on that side of the board in quite some time. Dylan, of course, on a 5 spree, I think was 175 off?
Close, yeah.
Something in that ballpark, maybe a kill and some change. And I think he does have the grab slam as well. So potentially want to look out for an opening break inside you. Midnight, I think, again, Lacefield earlier might have been reactionary to not wanting to get Tempest chained, more so than setting up a play for himself. So Midnight, aware of the situation, I imagine they won't body stack inside of you. And of course, I say this now, so if it happens, we can roast them.
Well, for me, it is Dylan. Oh, he's 350, so maybe a little further away than we thought, but either way, could definitely be a bit of a playmaker here. Lacefield is inside the zone. The grapple's going to come through. There's a Tempest, but Dylan actually connects with Lacefield. And as I said, the Tempest did actually connect, and that was what gave Dylan the license to push up. And Rec, at the beginning of this round at least, are throwing a lot at the B point, and Midnight have survived so far. Dylan's still there, but it's Lacefield's turn. There's the double. A will be defended.
And that was played very, very well from Midnight. Again, they backed off the point early. They gave up Lacefield's life just for the grab slam, and Dylan can only find 1. And granted, he kills Parasite after, but then it was the grab slam that Lacefield that held on to shut him down. So I actually really appreciate the play Midnight just pulled off, just to dodge the specialist as much as possible. Because now you're down by a life, but you burn 2 of them, and you shut down the streaks. So you're feeling pretty good.
So I do have Vision Pulse available for Parasite. On the flip side, Dens is still working towards it, about 3/4 of the way. Zed's halfway towards another war machine. Llama God has his Tempest, so that could be the real chain here for this one. Parasite's invested Vision Pulse, so this is their play. This is Midnight trying to defend. They were being split pushed, and there's a team kill that comes through. Llama falls. This could be bad news for Midnight.
Well, Blastful maybe the saving grace is able to find too, but honestly, all these kills that are going Rek's way are huge. I said they might be feeling good after shutting down the streaks and burning some specialists, but when all is said and down, now they're down by 7 lives and they gotta worry about more streaks coming in from Zed. The turnaround is here. Reciprocity, they never say die. They had a nasty comeback on Seaside. They were down 2-0 in this control.
If they come back on this, there's gonna be controllers flying across the arena. Let me tell you, Zed's earned streaks as well. Rec, they've put themselves in prime positioning, and I said it after map number 1, I'm never doubting Rec again. They could go down, 200 points in a hard point, and I'll still believe at this point. It's ridiculous what they've been able to achieve this year, but it's not over yet. Midnight are trying to just reduce that life count. Trades back and forth, 19-3. It stands at 4. And streaks used as well.
And yeah, I was going to say the lightning strike gets you nothing. Maybe you get close to a specialist, but you're only up by 4 in Reciprocity. I don't think they're feeling hyper confident in their ability to win this round. They're still in a great spot to do so, but it's not crystal clear. Dylan, though, finds an opening. Zed knows 2 players are back here, and honestly, the amount of time he's wasting in the spawn trap is in. You get these kills, you're feeling great. They ignore the point, they go for the kills, and now they're up by 4, and Zed and Shawnee still here. Still trying to find some, but Shawnee gets cleared up, and so does Zed. That 4-life lead now down to 2. And Lamagod, he's been hanging out. Blastful, he's mid-map. They're still near this point to defend.
And you still have Llama with the Tempest too, and well, this game was pretty much, or this round was at the point where it was like, don't waste it, save it for the next round, to now where, well, hold on a minute, maybe I could use it, and maybe we could just close it out here 3-1. Time's ticking, 28 seconds. Blast has somehow stayed alive. That could be huge in the grand scheme of things, but it's 8-5 the life count. Saints is gonna run straight past someone from Rec, and well, if you were starting to believe, don't hold your breath, folks, because this one more than likely over now. 7-2. Rec will take it to that round 5, and in terms of what's going to be available for them, they have a lot. They have a lot.
And the vibes are still there. Again, they made that, so I didn't hear their call-outs really at all during the entire Seaside, but then they were feeling great after, and then once that search and destroy kicked off, they just started to feel it, screaming at each other, having a great old time. And obviously a bit more serious on the early rounds of the control, but now they're feeling great once again. I don't know, Ben. This is a lot of momentum in Reciprocity's favor right now.
I think I would have preferred them to maybe not have used that lightning strike. It was
or even not slide out with an ICR and just fly when you're trying to play for the Hellstorm.
Yeah, that would have worked too. But Zed, War Machine, Den's close to Vision Pulse. Flip side, Llama got Tempest. I think that's the only stuff we're really going to see. First blood for the round goes in favor of Midnight. Of course, it is going to be on them to try and make the plays, but Zed defending A so valiantly. Finds the first, finds the second. Good job from him.
It's a nice setup as well. I think Luskin's getting that kill on Lacefield. That's just doing your homework, expecting the grapple spot. That is a ambitious challenge, but that's because the teamwork was there, and Reciprocity just keeping up on lives just a little bit. They got quite a bit of pressure on the map. Luskins is by himself, so every kill he finds is going to be huge. There's the first. The bait switches in, though, to eventually clean him up. Finally, he gets taken down, but now you got Dylan on the other side.
I was going to say, he did such a good job because Dennis has now been able to rotate. Luskin bought so much time there for his teammate. That was really, really well played from him. Now it's Zed's turn to try and contest the zone. He's going to be shot in the back surely, but Shawnee is there to trade. Dylan's now going for a flank, and the lead is getting very high here for Reciprocity.
And Dylan is such a huge problem. He was just at elbow, and now he's grappling the flank. They haven't found him. Den earns the vision.
Oh, no.
There's the War Machine to see him come in. Find 3, Midnight. This is dire. You're down by 9. You got no time. And oh dear, Ben. Oh dear, oh my.
Finally, the Tempest was called in, but it was too late. It was too late. Rec. Down heavily in the hard point, they come back. They dominate the search 6-0. Down 2-0 in game 3, they come back and dominate the final round. Still 20 lives available. Rec, 3-0 to start the day. Shambles for Midnight.
Oh man, I'm almost at a loss for words. I don't want to talk about it from Midnight's perspective because I'll get depressed because that was brutal. That is a 100-some-odd point comeback we saw on the Seaside. 2-0 lead you had in the frequency control. And Reciprocity just simply does not care. The vibes are on point, and for the week they have, they got UIU and EG to look forward to. And if they keep playing like this, honestly, they might have a week where they go, what, 4-0 towards the end, and then they go from, I don't know, 5-9 in the standings back to 9-9. They go up a couple spots and get the ball rolling in the Pro League. That is a happy match for Reciprocity to get.
A week where you heard from Rec themselves, every game counts, all the wins count. It's another good result. They just cruised through Midnight, who was a team where, you know, you look at that matchup on paper and you think, all right, they could cause them some problems.
Yeah.
And they did at the start of the Hardpoint, and they did at the start of the Control.
Not the search and destroy.
Definitely not the search, and definitely not the end of map 1 or map 3 either. So congratulations to Reciprocity. They're looking great so far here this week. That's everything for myself and Chance for now. We'll send it over to Katie and the boys of the desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And we thought it was going to be a touch more competitive than it was, but Reciprocity swept Midnight, and, you know, Nameless, it really felt like it all kind of just collapsed in map 1.
Yeah, so we're watching the games, and it's 190 to 100. And we're like, Midnight's going to win this, right? Like, they're going to win this Seaside. And before that, in the segment previously, I was talking about how they keep playing Seaside, and they just don't win it because their auto veto is gridlock. Understandable. They don't have a second ICR. But that's like the 4th time I've seen them lose Seaside, and that's like the 2nd time I've seen them lose it in the final moments. Some mistakes made at the very end. Like,
I feel like that was the first one where they should have won that.
Yeah.
They lost the last 3 hills like 132 to 8 points. Like, I know it's Seaside and you can rotate and hold those hills, but there's just points in that game where they just made such crucial mistakes, and credit to Reciprocity, they held, but man, Midnight has to find a way to win that map 1. They just have to.
So Chance said something at the very beginning of this map that was, you know, it led to be true for the remainder of it. He said that, you know, these guys are all like double negative, but they're only down 30 points. And, you know, that was when Midnight started to extend their lead, but Reciprocity, they just hung in there the whole time. They had that huge comeback, and that's the teamwork that these guys, you know, possess. And Weskin picks up these streaks and calls in that Hellstorm, and it's pretty much a done deal from here. Is just a flurry of kills that come in on a hill that's, you know, pretty difficult to break. And if Midnight were to just give that up and rotate.
I just don't simply understand how you go to the first hill. Basically, you're up 60, 70 points. All right, they get like 30 seconds out of that time. Then you go into Courtyard.
Should have gave up Courtyard.
You gave up Courtyard. For some reason, they were able to break your back spawns. They win that rotation, and then you die. You spawn in the back, and you decide not to rotate again, and you decide to challenge on the back steps. When you challenge on the back steps, they know that if you get that time, you're going to win the map. So they're going to have multiple people there.
Stood there for like
stood there
10
just
seconds. Just
it didn't make any sense.
Run in and die, or just leave and go through church and rotate. Like,
just rotate,
like,
man.
Just rotate.
We saw Blatz.
No reason to dive
He was
farther.
sitting all the way to top fountain. He made the right play. It was just everyone else made the wrong one. For the simple fact that you only need 10 points to win. Going into such a powerful hill like Fountain, I'm pretty sure Reciprocity didn't even have a set of streaks yet. And all you had to do was just rotate and not contest it. But I guess they just got flustered mid-game, and it all went downhill from there.
Well, there's a decision that needs to be made in that situation. It's like, do we just try to get these last 10 points on the Courtyard, or do we just give it up? I am always a firm believer in just give it up and just play your high percentage, because we see teams do that. And it
on Seaside, it shouldn't even be a question because of how hard Fountain is to break. Like, as soon as he had it, it was like 220 to 240. We're like, this is over. They have half a push left. Even when Dylan grappled out, tried to use his grab slam, died instantly, they still had no chance to break in. Even when they gave up the first kill, Dylan spawned up in the back. Zed picked up 2 and it was over. That hill's so unbreakable. You have to give up. You have to give up Courtyard Hill.
So moving on in the series, right? Search and destroy. Record speed. Actually, we say that a lot. We say that a lot. We're like, that was a record speed match. That was actually the fastest search and destroy of the entire Pro League. We got confirmation from JP. Unacceptable, right? Very first round, Lacefield gets a pick with a sniper. I'm like, okay, things are gonna look good. The rest of the game, it's just no organization. It's like the composure was completely gone. What you alluded to earlier was like, are they going rogue in the comps mid-game? And I believe so. I think that is what's going on. Like, you usually can't say that because you're not on the team listening to them, but just watching their gameplay, like
that SC was 6 minutes and 24 seconds. So that means every single round, you were just sprinting forward and dying.
So
and
your comms had to be insane.
You just didn't care. Like, if we're down 3-0, we're like, all right, yo, slow it down, find a pick. Like, how many times have you heard teammates say that? Slow it down, hold on, find a pick, let's try to work the map. No. Every round, they were just sprinting up and dying, and Reciprocity was dominating them.
6 minutes.
That's insane, because 6 rounds in total is 9 minutes just for the map. And you lost that in way shorter time period.
Yeah, just slow it down.
Well, and then even in Control, they managed to go up 2-0, and then once again crumbled, and Reciprocity came back.
That's Reciprocity's worst game type. I expected them to lose that even though Midnight was struggling. It looked like Midnight was going to win it, and we're going to go to game 4. And then they fell apart again. It just seems to me like when Midnight is on the back foot, they just don't know how to handle adversity as a team. They fall apart. I don't know what's going on in their comms. Yesterday, Blastful said that Parasite went a little crazy in their comms, and it broke their team apart in the
Can't even
game.
imagine being up.
That's has to be something about like what's happening with this team.
To me, that third map is like the least forgivable one as well. Even though like they were up 2-0, but like I don't know, like for Control, that happens sometimes. You're down 2-0, so people start to pick up their specialists and start to come back. But those first 2 maps for me were just so bad, so bad. 100-point lead, 6-0 in 6 minutes. People are setting records on you here.
Dylan is an absolute animal. Just watching what he was doing, the way that he was just able to pull away, because I'm pretty sure when they were down 2-0, he was negative like 2 or 3. And then as the rounds kept going, he just kept on destroying, picking up a set of streaks. Like watching him with a SOG is absolutely beautiful.
You know what's weird about watching Reciprocity is Zed.
Yeah.
Merc always says this. For some, Zed has like the weird lows where he's just like, where sometimes he's just not good. But then when he is good, Zed is fantastic. Like you're like, wow, is this guy one of the best SOGs in the game? I've never seen someone that's so hot and cold, up and down like Zed. But when he's playing well, it's scary.
Well, and it certainly was scary for Midnight, who, of course, just could not pull that out in any sort of a fashion. But let's pull up our schedule as we move things along. You can see it, of course. Optic Gaming versus Evil Geniuses will be coming up next. Both teams so far having a very good week last week and having a very good week so far this week. Evil Geniuses, of course, 4-0 overall. But again, if you missed it, that was a fantastically speedy match. Rec 3-0ing Midnight. But again, coming up, we'll be talking about Optic Gaming and Evil Geniuses.